Hi again then guys, and so we've got another drag spec tune for you today, and this time it's for the hugely popular Nissan Skyline R32 GTR, and this is the premium model R32. So you want your racing soft tyres. For suspension we've got the ride height of 130 front and back, springs we've increased to 525 on the front, reduced to 350 on the back. Dampers we've got 4 on the front, 1 on the back, and for extension 4 on both. Anti-roll as high as possible to keep the car straight and true. Neutral camber and toe to get as much tyre contact to the road as possible. For the gearbox we've got the highest possible auto setting. Then for the individual gears we've rounded them off to 2700, 1800, 1300, 1800 and 575 with a final drive of 4. For the diff we've got the highest initial torque, highest acceleration and lowest braking sensitivity. We've got a 40-60 split on the centre diff. All the power upgrades obviously, and I will be using NOS on this run, and obviously you want weight loss. Traction control is turned off, and as with all of my drag tunes I will be using a manual box. Now I have chosen to remove the rear wing, as you can see. You don't have to do that though. It doesn't really affect the top speed that much or the acceleration. And as always, we put that up against a far more powerful vehicle. We're actually putting this one up against the Toyota Supra, which is arguably the Skyline's main rival. And in this case, the Supra has over 100 horsepower more, also weighs less. They are both running racing soft tyres, NOS and an auto box. Obviously the Skyline has an all-wheel drive advantage off the line, but the Skyline is, or the Supra I should say, is no slouch. So it'll be interesting to see how they compare. So obviously off the line the Skyline, as you would expect, is quicker, but that Supra does have, as we said, over 100 horsepower more. This car has 840, the Supra has 944, and significantly more torque as well, if I remember correctly, and it also weighs less. Plus the Skyline is not known for its top speed, whereas the Supra really is known for its top speed on Gran Turismo. So as you can see, the Supra does catch up top end, which isn't surprising, but it takes the Supra over 3,200 meters to pass the Skyline, and for those who are unfamiliar with the conversion system, that's 2 miles. So this Skyline is faster than a Supra over a standing 2-mile drag. And even to 5,000 meters, it's less than a second behind. And considering the top speed advantage that the Supra has, it shows just how quick the acceleration on this Skyline is. Now, funnily enough, I actually wasn't planning on comparing this to the Supra. I was planning on comparing it to the Ayrton Senna's Lotus Formula 1 car, because I thought that would be a pretty good battle, considering the Lotus has obviously 1,050 horsepower, weighs a lot less than this car, and I wanted to make it an interesting drag. But when I actually put this car up against the Lotus, it was boring. It absolutely dominated it, to the point where by the 5,000 meter mark you could not even see the Formula 1 car anymore. It was so far behind. So I decided to use the Supra instead, but for drags the Supra is probably a more relevant rival. Now as always, there are far too many specs for me to read out, so I'll put those in the description if you want to check out all of those individually and perhaps compare them to the other drag tunes in this series. But for the highlights, it hits 60 miles per hour in 1.3 seconds. It hits 100 in 3.1, 200 miles per hour in 11.2 seconds. It does the standing mile in 20.5 seconds, the quarter mile in 8.1, and it will cover 4 miles in just over a minute. So considering that this is, of all the Skylines, not very well known for top speed, it's a very good top end drag car. So for those of you guys who do decide to use this tune, I hope you find it fun, and it is definitely competitive, so I hope you enjoy beating cars with significantly more power, because that's what the Skyline is good at. And that's it for this build. So if you found this helpful, feel free to subscribe. I put out new drag tunes every weekend, new top speed tunes every day, and as always, thanks for watching.